You too. My baby won't crank. She won't crank. Not only will she not crank, I think my starter is starting to loosen a little bit. And I can't get in my trunk. Oh boy, I tell you, I can't get in my trunk, man. I got some hedges behind me, and I mean, I'm right up on them, and I can't get in my trunk. So I guess I'm gonna have to take the day off. You know, started. I guess today is not. It's just not meant for me to be out today. You know, I came back with my grandson, had his recital this weekend, and I got back last night. And I was gonna go down to the White House today. You know, and get out here to the caddy and it won't crank. Won't crank, won't crank, won't crank, won't crank, won't crank, won't crank, won't crank. Won't crank. So, you know, damn. Damn. That's jacked up. That's jacked up, boy. That's jacked up. I ain't lying. But hey, man, it's one of them issues you have to deal with, and life goes on. You know. Interesting times we in, y'all. Some real interesting times. Did you notice on yesterday a gay man and a white supremacist got fired on the same day? Gay black man and a white supremacist, both of them newscasters, got fired on the same day. Isn't that interesting? That's real interesting. I wonder what kind of message they trying to send. You know, what's the symbolism of this? Because there's got to be a meaning behind it. Got to be a meaning behind it. You know, what's the meaning behind that? And it's going to be even more interesting to see how they land. You know, are they both going to land on their feet? Or is somebody going to take a fall? I mean, that's an interesting observation to see how they land. You know, and that will say a lot about the direction this country is going in. Those two examples right there. You know, a gay black man and a white supremacist. Let's see how they land. Let's see who gonna land on their feet, who gonna fall on their face. That's a good question. You know, it's a good question. Wow, man. Wow, my caddy wouldn't crank. Damn, my caddy won't crank. Won't crank. Won't crank. Won't crank. Oh man. You know what amazes me? What amazes me is how can people live in a hotel with a pet? That amazes me, man. How do you live in a hotel with a dog or a cat? I mean, seriously, how do you do that? How do you do that, man? And I see so many people here with pets. I'm like, in a hotel room? Come on, man. Come on. But, I mean, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. And if that's what floats their boat, who am I? Who am I to go against that, man? You know. Need a new car. That's what I need. I need me a new car. I need a new car. You know? Oh, I got me a new hat on the way, y'all. I ordered me a new hat. I found one just like this, too. I found it, man. I placed the order yesterday. I stepped out on my faith, man. I stepped on it. Bad as I needed that money, I said, man, I'm going to order me a new hat. I got me a new hat coming, y'all. I got me a new hat coming. Now all I got to do is get me a new suit. And some new teeth. And I'll be straight. Yeah, I'll be straight then, buddy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's game on. It's game on. So I'm excited and it ain't gonna take me a long time to get it either. You know, I paid for a 1 to 7 day delivery, so you know it's coming right away. And when I get my new hat, man, it's gonna be game on. It's gonna be game on, man. Watch what I tell you. It's gonna be game on. Yes, indeed. Wow. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to be out today at this time. That's the only thing I can. That's the only thing I can come up with. I ain't supposed to be out, man. You know? God might be keeping me out of harm's way. And I be all despondent and depressed because my car won't crank. And it could be keeping me out of harm's way, man. You know? Could be keeping me out of harm's way. Because that's what happens sometimes, and we don't see it that way. See, we look at it as an adversarial kind of situation, and it just might not be an adversarial. It might be protection. You know, it just might be I ain't supposed to be there at that time. You know, so and that's just how I have to look at it and deal with it and process it. You know, when the car gonna crank, it's gonna crank. And when it crank up, it's gonna crank up. And ain't nothing I'll be able to say or do or anything. You know, it'll crank up. Yeah. It'll crank up. So, but in the meantime, hey. Ah, boy. sometimes you get tired of the fight, man. Sometimes you get tired of the battle. Hey, Jamie, I can't drive. It won't crank. It won't crank. It won't crank. It won't crank. I can't drive. I'm sitting here, I'm stuck. I haven't driven it in a couple of days, you know? So, it's not cranking, man. Won't crank up. Won't crank up. Just won't crank. Just one. Man, have y'all ever noticed how uh, robins will walk along the ground and listen, and they'll be able to hear a worm crawling? Y'all ever notice that? Especially after it rains. How robins will be walking along and they'll be listening. You know, they'll tilt their head and listen like they can hear something crawling under the ground. Man, they must have some real sensitive hearing. I mean, their hearing got to be real sensitive for them to hear something crying. And they go and pick right wherever they hearing, that's where they going and pick. And they pull out a worm. Fascinating, man. Just fascinating. Ants, bugs, whatever they hear crawling, they eat it. Fascinating. Really is fascinating. Well, I guess since the caddy won't crank, shoot, I go and get in, go and get in my brain, man, and get on social media and just talk. That's what I'll do. Because I don't, I throw my hands up, man. Throw my hands up. I got the white flag out. let me wave my white flag. let me wave my white flag, man. I surrender. I give up. Here you go. All right, y'all. Caddy won't crank. Can't go nowhere. Beautiful day today, too. So I just gotta keep checking and coming back, and when it crank, I crank it. If it don't crank, ain't nothing I can do, man. There's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. All right, I'll see y'all later.